out here.
Mm-hmm.
This could be an idea for Kasva. Try to go for something very similar than what he did in this Abbasid game, just with Chinese. Go for Rams, Spearmen, Archers, using the supervised barracks. Looks like there is already an Imperial official coming out for him, as he's playing Chinese on the north in red, and down south is MarineLorD in blue as the Rus.
Yeah, and MarineLorD has 2 patches of deer nearby, but they're kind of on the front there, which is unfortunate for him. Nothing in the back. And Kasva has 2 patches right near his base, and he's going to start to clear those up with his own scout. Deny that from MarineLorD. The Imperial officer is now out, and a scout immediately follows it for Kasva.
Yep, especially if you consider the fact that you're using your initial scout to kill the hunt, you really need a second scout to secure sheep for you, because you see, he's got only a couple of sheep to work with, so he desperately needs a second scout to just find sheep for him.
Going to go over to that second patch and start to clear that up. MarineLorD, in the meantime, is finding sheep in the middle, trailing a wolf, too. He probably wants to pick up a few more before bringing those back to the TC. And he will start work on the deer patch in front of his own base, and he already has a second scout on the field with a third one following from that hunting cabin.
Yup, that is indeed 2 wolves plus 2 patches of deer probably, but that's pretty much it, I believe. I don't see a lot more wolves around the map, so he might actually be capped out at whatever he destroys here in front of his base.
That would be a good thing for Kasva. You want all the edges you can get early game against the Rus. And you want to deny that potential FC play that Kasva actually went for and lost with against MarineLorD earlier.
It's a very, very good start here for Kasva. He killed 2 patches of huntables, brings in 7 sheep to his mill. I have to say that Kasva has to be satisfied with this start. MarineLorD might get to 250 bounty, but it won't be much more than that.
Who's going to snag this wolf? Looks like Kasva is going to snag it first, and MarineLorD will be on the chase. But Kasva is going to be able to bring that back to his TC. And MarineLorD is just struggling to find any opportunities for bounty. He's only got 220 at the moment. Has a few more sheep he can kill, so probably get up to tier 2. But it's going to be tough for him.
It's going to be very tough. You see that he's trying to build the Golden Gate, probably something similar than what Kasva did on Highview, but the difference is the bounty. On Highview, Kasva had like 400 gold from bounty. Here, MarineLorD only has 220. And the thing is that means that he's without that tier 2, so he's not even getting that extra gather rate on his villagers.
Okay, well, he found a wolf. He's bringing in another sheep. He's going to find another sheep at the back, so he should be able to reach tier 2 quite easily.
Yeah, with that wolf, it should be easy. Even with the sheep, he can probably pull it off, as he is building that Golden Gate with 5. Other side, no landmark just yet from Kasva. Now, the Jugenu have been boosted quite a bit in the recent patch, so it's possible that Kasva's gonna go very heavy on them. They're rather cheap, and they actually serve as a very good archer unit in Feudal Age.
Are they Chukanu or are they Jugnu?
Depends. Chukanu is the English transcription, and Jugenu is the Chinese.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering about that because I thought it was a carryover from AoE 2 because I thought they were called Jugnu in my version of the game. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, it's Chukanu if you're writing it in English. It's the only unit that appears in both Age of Empires 2, 3, and 4 as well, and it's only called Jugenu here in AoE 4. It's Chukanu in both other games.
Another wolf going down from MarineLorD. He's got 300 bounties, still needs 200 more to get to the tier 3. And get himself a little bit of extra gold as well. There's the Barbican of the Sun for Kasva, and that's going to be over top of those carcasses there, so it's going to be difficult for MarineLorD to snag those with that building right nearby.
Indeed, although you could potentially just dive in and take it, because that Barbican of the Sun doesn't have an insane amount of firepower when it comes to taking down multiple targets, and honestly, MarineLorD got up to 330 bounties, so pretty decent given how bad his start was.
All right, professional scouts, only 20 seconds away from being completed. I bet you MarineLorD will try and run under that building and snipe those
Yup,
carcasses. He saw them at the front.
yup. That's almost guaranteed. You just gotta go greedy. Even if he can't take that, there is one right next to that that could be taken much more easily. And it looks like there's a barracks and an archer range for Kasva. He doesn't really have the resources for Song Dynasty, so it's not going to be Jugenu. So I'm suspecting just standard spear and archer approach here.
Okay, and here come the scouts. They took some of the carcasses. They're going to run away. Sheep still tailing after one of those, and that's going to be a nice little boost for MarineLorD. Meanwhile, Kasva, take a look at his resources. Pretty strained for food here, so not really that close to getting the second landmark up or a second town center either.
Yeah, it's weird from Kasva. You see that if you want to break this fast, Kasva, you have to be very aggressive, and he's nowhere close to putting up aggression, whereas MarineLorD is getting close to Castle Age here. What is he even gonna do against those Cav Archers? I feel like Castle Age Cav Archers could be a serious problem here for Kasva.
I mean, does he just play defensive? Does he try and set up some outposts maybe to stall them out, or maybe go for a second TC at some point? I can't really get a read on what he wants to do in the mid game, as he's only just producing spearmen at the moment.
This could work out, but I feel like it has to start doing damage right now. It's a low risky approach, and I see why he wanted Chinese. It's the same strategy as he used with the Abbasids before, to supervise the barracks, get a lot of spearmen out, and go for this ram-based push. The problem is that I think there are better uses of Chinese in other maps than doing this here.
Especially with that wooden tower there from MarineLorD to add to the defenses a little bit. It's going to be a bit harder for Kasva to push in. Archer range now coming down behind his base for MarineLorD. He's going to see this army pretty soon with his scouts as Kasva guards the carcasses. Does not want MarineLorD to pick those up at all.
I mean, there is some idea behind that if you think about it. The Barbican of the Sun defending some of the carcasses, and then the Spearman Archer is the other, but there should be still 2 untouched patches of Huntables, and that's enough for MarineLorD for Castle Age.
I mean, I think he already has enough for Castle Age under his TC, probably. At this point, as the wooden tower
actually
sees that and pushes the archers away.
Actually, if you think about it, look at MarineLorD's gold. He's gonna have to do multiple transactions here, and he only has 2 tickets and not enough food. So that Castle Age will be delayed quite a bit here, and Kasva, is he getting the siege upgrade in? I think Kasva might have a window here, because MarineLorD's Castle Age here is not super fast.
Yep. Kasva getting some good snipes on the hunt early, which means he had less bounty, too, to help him out in that regard. As MarineLorD is trying to make his way up to Castle Age. He's got 3 archery ranges now, but is forced to produce archers to combat the aggression from Kasva. In the meantime, he's picked up the carcasses from the north, and he'll start bringing them back. Has 7 scouts with 7 carcasses coming back to his TC.
Yep, oftentimes you go for 7 simply because that way you can yoink an entire patch of Huntables in one move. And now he's making archers, but his opponent Kasva could supervise at archer range to outproduce him. The problem for Kasva is that it takes a lot of time to get to the battlefield.
Ooh, good engagement there from MarineLorD, managing to pick an archer. Kasva had them a little bit out of position, and Kasva's just waiting currently. He's still producing some military.
He doesn't have the resources for this push. He just finished the infantry siege upgrade, but there is no wood for the ram. He simply can't afford to make a push right now, and every moment he delays, MarineLorD gets closer to Castle Age.
Yep.
I understand the concept of Kasva, but his eco is way too strained for this. He even loses that scout, so he's gonna have limited vision to work with.
Yeah, his window is closing for sure, and MarineLorD's resources looking pretty good. 1,200 food in the bank, just needs about 100 more gold, which he can use his market or golden gate to gather. And then he can start building his landmark to go up to the next stage. Blacksmith is coming from MarineLorD. Got the production out first before getting the technologies. And then he will likely upgrade these archers and switch into horse archers, which should be so devastating against a mobile army from Kasva.
Absolutely, we're mostly talking about spearmen for Kasva. He's got a pretty sizable force of archers now, but those will be feudal age units for a long time. And you see, Kasva once again has to cancel a bunch of bills on that town center. He's getting the attack upgrade, but the problem is what for? He's still going to have a feudal age army against the castle age army, and
Yep.
it's not like MarineLorD has to push here. MarineLorD is more than happy sitting back, picking up 5 relics, and just chilling the entire game.
Kasva is adding horsemen now, though, and MarineLorD only has scouts and archers, where Kasva has a better mix. He does get a couple villagers; those are great snipes from MarineLorD. But if he's not careful and he leaves this army in the middle exposed, Kasva has potential to clear it up. MarineLorD, however, is going for his landmark behind this. Abbey of the Trinity will be able to pick up some relics, be able to capture some sacred sites, get that gold income finally, and get horse archers on the field.
And those horse archers will be just devastating against Kasva's base. His wood line is kind of far away from the town center. He's moving out for the berries, so a lot of villagers to pick off with that as Castle Age is just in. We'll see some warrior monks hit the field as well. Although, yeah, MarineLorD can afford one, so he will start picking up the relics, and it's now or never for Kasva, really.
I think MarineLorD would go for that veteran archer upgrade maybe if he had the gold, but like we said before, he's been struggling for that for a long time. Finally did go out to gold with some villagers, and Kasva kind of comes in here and says, I don't have enough yet. Hasn't even made a single ram yet this game, Lita.
Nope. He just simply couldn't afford it. Like, he's got wood that's enough for ram just now. He had to make a lot of expensive buildings, and the Chinese economy needs some time to kick in as there goes the ram. Now, when Kasva played EGC Genesis qualifiers against Taro, he had a game where he spent like 40 minutes full feudal. And he actually won that game.
Do you think he's in a position to win this game full feudal?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
don't know about that, dude.
Like, the thing here is that archers and spearmen are nice until men-at-arms hit the field. If MarineLorD just went men-at-arms, he would smash everything that Kasva has in 5 seconds.
Well, MarineLorD needs to be careful again about having exposed economy. You can see Kasva over there with those horsemen to the left as he comes in with his main force at the front. He was maybe thinking about hitting that goal, but here's the engagement. It's about to happen. MarineLorD using those scouts as a meat shield a little bit, distracting the spearmen, and then sniping down the spearmen behind with his archers. The cavalry comes in from Kasva, but there will be a warrior monk there, and still scouts here from MarineLorD and horse archers behind. This seems like a desperate attempt to win one battle from Kasva, but he's not going to win this, and he's going to be behind in basically every category.
Absolutely. Veteran archer is in for MarineLorD. He has a much easier time reinforcing the battle as well. Horse archers are still alive. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kasva tapping out after this battle. And here it is. Yep. MarineLorD evens it out. Somewhat of a weird strategy choice from Kasva. And we are actually going into that much beloved Border Bay game in game number 7.
The least convincing game from Kasva, I think, so far. Even with that, he had a good start with Chinese. I think he got some good snipes on the huntables from MarineLorD, but couldn't really follow up with anything. And like you said, he just didn't have the resources he needed to add the ram within the time window.
Yeah, the thing with that Abbot or that Russ fast castle is that it is such a fast castle here that your window to do damage is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
You just simply don't have the resources to mass, let's say, 10 spearmen, 10 archers, and 2 rams that you really need to break this one. And as we discussed before, your eco is so compact that raiding isn't really an option. At this point, I feel like Kasva sort of had to swallow this pill here and say, look, I don't really have a good civilization to fight against the Rus here, although he could have chosen Chinese for Altai and go French over here, but maybe he just was like, okay, I need to choose a different civilization from the previous ones and I can't repeat a civ, so what am I going for? Chinese, English, or the HRE? That was his options here.